now it is that your girl's recording. Let's go ahead and let's talk about this. Let's have this conversation. Speaking of things that is going around as of right now, we reacted to Shang Tsung talking about Mr. Lowtiergod himself. The funny thing it is, this man blocked me on Twitter. He blocked everybody. It is that quote tweeted anything that had to do remotely close to the BS it is that he said. But apparently, it is not only the man has been lying about his age, his name, and every other thing underneath the sun. Lowtiergod got a biological daughter. So, without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead. Let's jump into this. Let's see what Mr. Shang Tsung has to say. I seen you in the comments. Appreciate you. Love your vids. So, without further ado, let's get into this next video, y'all. Let's do it.
So, let me ask you guys a question. How many of us in our life with intentions of having a child? Yeah, I've never like, damn, I want to create a baby with this bitch. Oh, with some music in the background. Like, I'm not trying to smash to get you pregnant. So yes, I believe in ABs. I also think that there should be a new law that says, let's just say if we smash and you get pregnant, there should be a new law that says if we don't collectively agree that we both want this child, then I should sign over my rights and legally you can't do anything. Like,
what?
That's how I feel like it should be. Like, what? I think it's lame as that you could smash a bitch for fun, right? And she says, I'm pregnant. You're like, all right, well, what are we like? I'm not ready to be a father. And she's like, well, I'm ready to be a mother. Child support coming. Like, how the fuck does that make sense? Like, I literally smashed you for sex. Now I gotta suffer because because we just banged for recreational purposes. That shit is ass backwards.
How is that ass backwards when literally is that's the repercussions that come from what it is that you have sex with someone? What, or like what? That's common sense. Literal common sense. Like, things of pregnancy and also STD or STI infections come about when it is that you do this. So at this rate, why are you smashing somebody that you don't really see a future with? Go on about your business, bro. Go on about your business. And on top of that, too, you intentionally did not use protection. Go on about your business. Go about your business.
That shit is so ass backwards to me. That's why I said the only way I would give my pops a pass if I knew him and my moms was smashing and I just like came out of a oops baby type shit and they weren't married in a relationship, I'd give them a pass. For sure. For sure I give them a pass. Because I know you was just fucking like, you know, like just the same way I'm having sex for recreational purposes. So I get it that you had sex for recreational purposes and I was a byproduct.
What? What are we...
I think that shit's like ass backwards. Like, I'm not fucking nobody. Like, men, most of us don't fuck to procreate. So it's like, why is it a one-sided thing?
Nah, Peg, you're wild. Bro, what are we talking about? Off rip, just starting out with just rubbish.
God is a deadbeat father. Full stop. There is no subtle nuance to this statement. There is nothing else to understand. I'm not speaking in rhythm, rhyme, limerick, or anything of the like. Lowtiergod is a deadbeat father, full stop. Of all of the controversies that have surrounded Lowtiergod's online presence for over a decade now, I personally believe that this is quite honestly the worst. Not only because of the nature of what this surrounds, but more because of the real life ramifications of Lowtiergod being a deadbeat father. Everything he said to Viscant, everything he said to Brolyleg, everything he said to Perfect Legend.
He said, how about to not have that type of kind of intimacy for the sake of a kid and not finish inside her. I mean, you can still get somebody pregnant without having to like finish inside, gang. Like there is such a thing as pre-cum, which it does happen. It does happen. That does happen. Let me tell you. Again, a lot of times it is people don't understand that like you only get pregnant during ovulation or somewhere close to ovulation week. That may differ each month, or it may differ for each woman. Like everybody gonna have that differently. But I mean, he's paying child support, so what's the issue? How do we know that? I use pre-cum as lube. Okay, you know what?
Imagine everything
You know what?
he said to every member of the FGC or the greater streaming community pales in comparison to the fact that Dale Wilson has a child out in the world that he has willfully abandoned. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look at how we got here.
Most of us know that for years now, Dale has openly
Link.
talked about his immense disgust at the mere thought of having daughters, and many great videos have compiled his thoughts on the matter, which you should definitely watch if you haven't seen them, because they add a whole other layer to what you're about to see. But just in case you haven't, here is but one quick example.
Here's what's gonna happen. Me and my daughter, we gonna be straight. Soon as I find out she lose the V, I don't got nothing else to say to you.
What?
Honestly though, let me ask you niggas a question. Honestly, what more would I do? What more would I need to say to my daughter if she starts sucking on dicks and fucking? Like, what kind of relationship we gonna have?
First and foremost, why is that the first thing it is that you think of when it comes down to relating of like a daughter? That's very weird to me to start like having those levels of conversations, even those thought processes. That's nasty.
After
work.
all that spicy yin yang, he was talking, and now he is trying to talk like he's that guy.
Like that's weird. Can't have a relationships with a daughter once she starts having sexual experiences with men.
You already went out there and explored men. What else do we need to speak on? If she like girls and shit, we could vibe. But for me,
What? What?
to just continuously have a continuous relationship with my daughter when she's already sucking on other men's cocks and getting backshotted, like we don't have nothing else to talk about. The relationship at that point is weird from that point on. Like you're no longer a little girl to me. You're a woman out there getting banged, backshotted, sucking, fucking taking nuts, busting on nuts, squirting all over dicks. Like just the thought of like, I couldn't rock with my daughter no more just off the thought and the strength of her just fornicating it in itself. Like
The fact that
I don't
like
want to be like, let's just say I have a daughter and she comes over and she had a kid. Like I gotta look at a pregnant daughter. I don't see how dads process that shit. I really don't. Cause me, like, I could be a 60-year-old man, right? And have like a 30-year-old daughter. And she comes over pregnant or with her kids.
And you're no longer a man to me. You're a little boy with a messed up mindset.
oh, for sure is.
weird because somebody laid you down and f***ed you when you were my daughter at a point in time and I got to sit over and play grandpa. Like, nah, I'm cool.
That's weird. You're weird.
And keep in mind, there's at
You're
least 20
weird.
other clips.
Damn, does that say 38?
Nah, I'm cool.
And keep in mind,
38-year-old Lowtiergod's childish views on daughters. Hey, I've been told you that this nigga's 40, bro. I've been said it is that this nigga is well to like 40. He's 39. Yeah, round it up, 40. Round it up. That nigga was born in the 1980s, bro. Like, come on. Like, you are way too old to be doing this bullshit. You're lying about your age. You're lying about this. You have a kid. You lie about so much different things. And I've seen this man stream before. I actually appreciated when Deji was whooping this nigga's ass in Tekken. I was having the time of my life because this nigga promoted it. And the moment it is that he lost, what did this sorry nigga do? Delete the post on everything it is that he promoted on. You did all that promoting, boasting, talking all that shit just to say it is like, oh, Tekken 8 is not even a real game. It's not real. It's not real. You're sorry. A sorry ass nigga, bro. Just, bro. And then what he did afterwards for like a whole hour is rag on women. I've heard so many different types of takes it is that this man talked about after the fact of getting his ass whooped being humbled within Tekken 8 and then had the nerve to sit there and talk so much shit about with women. Like I'm cool on dude, bro. I've been cool on this nigga.
Mind you, most daughters are too embarrassed to talk about that kind of stuff to their fathers, so that confused the heck out of me. He's just another Neon clone.
Mm-hmm.
There's at least 20 other clips just like this one that are just as bad, if not worse. If you have seen the leaked LTG credit report, you may have noticed a few key tidbits of information. The first thing was the Department of Child Support collection, obviously, which is dated August 2023 on the report.
Whoa!
Then if you browse to the part that appears to be all the inquiries, or pulls as they're known in the business, most are the typical things you would see on any credit report. Credit cards, auto dealers, banks. But there is one unique thing, a name. And the date for this inquiry is coincidentally also in August 2023. Now if you Google this name, you will find a law firm located in Southern California, about an hour's drive from where LTG lives. If you go to the firm's website, it states they specialize in two main areas of law: estate planning and judgment enforcement. Estate planning is basically wills, living trusts, things like that. Basically grown-up shit that LTG would never even think to do. Judgment enforcement is when you take someone to court and you win a judgment against them, but the other party doesn't pay, so you hire a law firm to get involved, and they can do things like garnish the other person's bank account or income, put a lien on their assets, or other extreme measures. And basically, the point is that they are forced to pay you, one way or the other. So you might see a loose story starting to come together here. Just based off this information alone, it would appear that in August 2023, his child support obligations went into collections, and also in August 2023, a law firm intervened in the matter to try enforcing a judgment against him. So as I was putting this all together, I had the thought, these things all seem to be happening around August of 2023, so what was Dale doing around that time on stream? What kind of things was he talking about? What was his general mood like? Was there any random things he just started talking about without any seeming explanation for it? Many of us know that Dale has a terrible poker face, and when something is bothering him, it will be written all over his face.
That is very true. That is very true. The way how it is that I seen that man go from talking the most spiciest talk in the beginning of Tekken to that poker face being humbled so fast. Oh yeah, I'm seeing a pattern within this guy. I'm seeing a major pattern.
And I'm only 21 in college, and even I can tell this man doesn't really understand how to be at least half of a man. To me, he's laughable of a man, so I can't even take him seriously. Ask any fathers about him and tell him every making, and I bet you they aren't gonna take it seriously.
I mean, he's a literal narcissist. Oh yeah, he is. That was good, Babs. Hey, Babs. Remember remember what this nigga did to us in the chat? Man.
Not only that, but he has to talk about it. So I set out to find if there were any topics or things he was venting about on stream around that time. Or similarly, if there is anything he has been focused on since.
That nigga's still
trash. The first
trash.
clip I found was what you just saw at the beginning of this video. Coincidentally, the date of this clip is August 21st, just 2 days before the credit inquiry from the law firm hits his credit report. Just a short, random rant about how unfair it is that you could get a girl pregnant and then be forced into paying child support, even if you don't want to keep the child. This topic was brought up suddenly and out of nowhere, and he finished the rant as abruptly as he brought it up, so I sensed there must be something to this, and kept searching. As you may have already guessed, this would end up being just the tip of the iceberg.
December 18th of 2023. Okay.
All right, Anthony Edwards is going viral for allegedly paying a woman 100 bands to get an abortion. Man, you can't force a kid on the world. I have an appointment on that 27. Hell no, I can't do this. So what now? What a great response. Get an abortion. Honestly, I've had an abortion with my son around 2 years ago, and I regret it every day. Man, you can't force a kid in the world. And you know I'm gonna give my insights after this shit. being cool to you is just gonna get an abortion by myself and you're not gonna do shit about it, just going on about your day. That's being cool to you. Obviously, you've been through this before just by your reaction. I'll see.
He's been trash since he started taking all that. He ain't even close to my level. At least I can treat my women with equality, and same thing for my man. I don't let toxic masculinity brainwash me when I grew up to a hard-working single mother back when I was only 3.
You know?
Send you the money to help you out. I didn't ask for it, but okay. Like, why would I refuse bands? So you just don't want a baby? Is that why you're saying this? Because I've been cool with you. I don't want kids. Let's handle this like grown-ups. Okay. I'm not trying to force you to be a dad to a baby you don't want. I just don't like abortions. That's like, that doesn't get me wrong. Like, if you really don't want to do this, it's just fine. I won't. In other words, like, damn, I just wanted to have a bag for 18 years, but I like the fact that, and look, there's another one where she was like hounding him for the money and he had his attorney send her 100 bands. Here's my thing about this situation. I don't like the fact that you're using my bust. So I should have 50% of the say if you bring a kid in the world I clearly don't want.
So what's the point of having sex with a person then? You know? If you're not ready for like the repercussions, then it's like why even put yourself in the situation to begin with? I feel like people make excuses for this. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some laws that is unfair to men. That I do believe. But if you're really going to be realistic and stuff like that, if you gotta be like, oh, well, this isn't what I want, this isn't this, blase, it's like, you didn't think it is like these things can able to happen. These are repercussions it is that everybody has to think about, both the men and women. You know what I mean? Like, it takes two to do this. But like, come on, bro. Stop it.
Why would you have a spiteful baby that I'm never gonna fuck with on that kind of level? Like, this is the thing too. This is why I would let my dad. I would easily let my dad pass if he didn't marry my mom. I would have let him slide. That's where you fucked up, nigga. If you was just fucking, I would have been like, okay, cool. Like, you was just getting pussy and then you happen to concede, like you happen to slip some in and boom, I'm here. But I don't like the fact that most of us men, 99.9% of the time, we're fucking for pleasure. Stories like this, if you knew I was fucking you for pleasure, why would you forcefully try to have a kid? And a lot of these chicks, they would probably, we've seen so many stories where they forcefully have a kid. I don't want the kid. I don't want nothing to do with you. So why would I want to forcefully take care of a kid I don't want with a bitch I was just banging for sex? If I don't like you and it was just some sex session, what makes you think I wanted to procreate with your ass in the first place? It's just crazy how, like, I see so many of these things where it's just men, we don't have the choice.
Thank you, Jay. Condoms exist. What are we talking about?
So you're using my cum, you're using my sperm to fertilize your egg, but I don't have none of the choice on what you do with the kid, and I gotta pay? This man didn't want a kid with this chick so bad he gave her $100,000. That should be a wake-up call. That it should be a 50-50 decision. This is how shit should work. When two people fuck, which we're doing for pleasure in the first place, and if a chick happens to get pregnant, because a lot of these chicks will be like, please bust in me, please. It just feels better. I like how warm it is inside of my pussy. The way I think it should work, I think it should work like this. The law should be, we're clearly fucking for recreational purposes. You want to bust, I want to bust, we're fucking. I didn't want a kid with you in the first fucking place. Most of us don't fuck for kids. So guys, if there's anybody out here that's mad at your dad, he never married your mom, he was fucking for sex. So you really don't have the right to be mad at your dad if he never married your fucking mom in the first place.
Can't relate. My dad married my
But
mom.
you gladly was with a minor and now trying to talk like you that guy.
Damn.
Like Megan once said, they mad at Megan's law.
Damn. Can't relate. My dad proposed to my mom. He knew at an early age it is like, yeah, this the one that's for me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a sound. Like, what are we talking about, bro? What are we talking
It's
about?
because your mom probably had the kid. Your mom probably had you without his motherfucking permission. So honestly, you shouldn't even be mad at the nigga. No, you're dumb because you're a non-sub. You're banned, bruh. Well, you mad because you never met your pops? Look, anyways, I almost called this nigga something back. I just had to keep my cool since I'm the lit nigga. you're banned. Anyways, all my guys in here, if your dad never married your mom and he was never around, you can't even get mad at the nigga. Because clearly he didn't want to, clearly he was fucking for sex. So why you got this aggression? If your dad didn't marry your fucking mom, you don't have a right to be mad at him because he probably didn't want your ass in the first place.
That is a
He was
crazy
fucking for
assumption.
sex, backshotting, creamy backshotting your mom and all that type of shit. She happened to say, fuck it, I'm gonna keep the kid anyway, you're here. You're a product of sex. Most of us are just a product of accidental bust-ins. If we didn't marry you, we didn't want the motherfucking kid. Most of these dudes be beefing with these, like, what's Von Miller? You guys ever hear about the story with Von Miller? Yeah, but anyways, back to what I was saying. The point I'm trying to make is this. I think that a female keeping a kid should not be 100% sole her
Right,
decision.
like dude just yapping
Because-
at this rate. Hey, I can't relate. You know what I'm saying? Parents married, been together for 26 years type shit. Can't relate.
It was
Can't
my
fucking
sperm
relate.
that helped you incubate this kid. So if we can't come collectively and make a decision together, if you're like, I don't want the kid, she's like, well, I want it. I think that I think that the case should be brought in front of a judge, and you guys should both be able to explain your case on why you think it's not really a good idea to bring a kid in the world for multiple years that's going to cost money, that's going to ruin both of your lives. Now you guys are going to hate each other. Because if a chick, put it like this, let's just say this metaphorically speaking. If I was just fucking some chick, right? And a little
Let's just say this, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, right. Metaphorically, XD.
bit of my matrix juice slipped in. I know I pulled out, but a little bit of my matrix juice slipped in. I had no intentions of fucking with this chick in the long haul. It was just for some head and sex. And you happen to get
Might as well talk my yin-yang about him. Let's see if he blocks me. Yes, I'm from the East Coast, but don't play with me.
pregnant. And you tell me you're going to keep the kid. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? You think I'm going to be overjoyed if you pregnant? I'm going to be like, okay, let's get the AB. No, I'm going to keep it. Okay, so she decides to keep it. We arguing this and that. She decides to keep it. Do you honestly think I'm ever going to fuck with that kid, authentically love it, or be in this life at all? No, I'm going to just pay my dues and go on about my life. You could slide me on that CP. I mean, that's
Right, like, let me go back to this. I mean, that's your call, your choice. You decided rather you wanted to be a man and be in the child's life, or you chose to perpetuate the cycle that you usually criticize when rogues do it. Yeah, that is also true. That is also very true. He's being extremely contradictory. Because isn't this the same man that be talking about, like, oh, you know, the people is that be like, oh, these weave wearing people, or oh, the people grow up with no fathers and stuff like that. Not you out here doing the same shit it is you be criticizing people for. It's giving a con artist. It's giving a liar. It's giving a liar.
But you had sex with her. If she doesn't want to do what you want her to do, don't try to get mad at her. That's her choice in the end.
I think people don't tend to realize that, like, first and foremost, we already had to go through that whole situation of them taking away abortion laws as it is and saying, like, well, anything past 6 weeks is considered wrong, or I think they said is illegal. But with a woman's body, a lot of times it is, you don't find out until it is like you're between 4 is early, but 6 to 8 weeks is usually what it is. Most women find out it is that they are pregnant for real. And that just like, and mind you, these is men. These are men that are trying to make choices of women's bodies, which is, it's so fucking weird. Which is why I hear shit like this is fucking hilarious. I don't trust condoms. The first time I used one, the one bitch tried to. Oh, nah, that's crazy.
pay my dues and going about my life. You could slide me on that that CS. You could slide me on that CS. I don't want nothing to do with that child because you had the kid against my will. So why the fuck would I have unconditional love for something that I didn't want? I said CP like child support. Get it? Y'all niggas over. Every time I make a mistake, y'all niggas say some dumb shit any fucking ways. I put the wrong abbreviation, excuse me. Back to the point that I was making. If I don't like you and I was and I didn't want to agree to have a kid with you, why would you forcefully have a kid anyway? Why is it your decision to keep something that I'm half of that I helped create?
Because the woman is the one it is that has to carry the life and deal with. People underestimate what women go through within their bodies and with pregnancy as it is and childbirth and all of that other stuff. So it's really the woman's choice at the end of the day. I mean, like, granted, yes, some men may feel like that is unfair, and that is understandable. I get that, but see, I feel like people underestimate those things of how much, like, one, finances that goes into of ABs to what it is he's saying.
I had to punch a pillow just to calm down. What kind of backwards logic is this?
I see why women choose the bear every day. But like, it's crazy to me that people don't understand what it is that, like, what goes through with a woman's body, and the fact of, like, the things that he's spewing out is just, it's weird. You're contradictory as fuck. You go ahead and you make fun of the same people it is that's doing the same endless cycle of being fatherless and everything like that, and then here you are doing the same shit. Go on about yourself.
That's my issue. I think it's ass backwards for men. Like, clearly I for fun. Yeah, this is the Anthony Edwards shit. Clearly I for fun. I was backshotting you. I was getting sucked up. I didn't want no fucking kid by you. If the kid ends up being LeBron James, I don't give a fuck. Maybe wear a condom. What if it rips and then I'm stroking, I look down, the shit's popped. Now you got nut in you, now you're keeping it. They usually don't rip. Shit, if you ain't got a BBC, I guess you wouldn't know. BBCs, we usually could rip condoms. Why would I get a vasectomy? My sperm is for kids that I actually would want, not for kids that I'm fucking a bitch for procreational purposes, for sex.
But you just, oh my God, this is brain rot. This is brain rot, y'all. This is brain rot. Golly, this is brain rot.
Bro, learn how sex works. That's the first step.
And then she was to keep my seed. I don't want nothing to do with the kid. Honestly, that's my shit. I'll pay what I need to pay. If I was in these niggas' position, a chick for
by the looks of it, gang, it looks like it is you not paying, bro.
Forcefully at the kid, I'll pay what I need to pay, but I want no ties
Cap
to the child. That's not my kid. It was against my will. I want no parts. So I don't blame Anthony Anderson for this shit. Honestly, what's his name again? Anthony what? Edwards, my bad. I don't blame Anthony Edwards for this shit. I don't think there's nothing wrong with what he said. I think he was a little bit blunt when he said get an abortion. He could have abbreviated and said, could you just at least get an AB? I'm not a pastor, nigga. You're banned. Pastor this banned, bitch. I would have just said it something slick. I'd have went, can you get an AB? With an LOL. She don't, what's an AB? I'd have like, I mean, come on, man. You know we was just fucking for recreational purposes. Let's just do what's right. I'm not in love with you. You're not in love with me. We're not in a relationship. We were clearly just fucking. Why would we bring a child into this environment? That sounds like a logical way to do it. And just like he said, man, you can't force a kid in this world, which is true. But chicks like to do that. You can't force a kid in this world. Anyways, this situation, like I said, a lot of people will be sensitive about it, but I do think that conceiving a kid should be a 50-50 party. If the two parties cannot...
It is. That's why it is y'all having sex. What are we talking about?
Come together with a logical decision, it should go in front of a judge, and both people should explain why they want to keep it or why this won't work. You're
the judge got other things to worry about. That's what child support is about. Go about your business.
Broke as why are we having this kid? Imagine it's two broke people that fucked.
So why is the girl broke as fuck? This couldn't happen with a girl who has money. Again, this is oddly specific details that this is supposed to be a hypothetical story.
The guy was just having sex. She magically gets pregnant. He clearly didn't bust in he like a little bit of nut slipped in, some pre-cum or something like that. Why would you bring a kid into the world when you're both broke?
Both? The story he's reacting to is about an NBA player that paid a chick $10K to get an abortion. Now both people are broke?
Harder on the kid growing up. He can't get toys. She can't get toys. Going to a whack-ass urban ghetto school. Getting broke bullshit education.
Damn, I went to an urban school, but I graduated. The fuck?
Growing up in a fucking urban up ass area. I don't understand why parents do that.
I grew up in a white neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? So I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't relate.
Good games, broski. Thank you for the 5 months. Your kid got to grow up in a motherfucking apartment. You don't got the time to spend with your kid because...
Is that a rule that all kids in these situations grow up in apartments? Again, it sure sounds like he's talking about something or someone specific here. Just not a random
you
story.
You got to work two jobs to survive. I don't understand why people bring kids into the world forcefully. Most of the men that have kids don't want them. We were fucking for recreational purposes. Anthony was fucking for recreational purposes. Luckily, he found a chick that has some sense in her to not fuck over her life and his life for having a kid that has no love involved. There's no love while we made that kid. There's no love. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
Just because you didn't love the person you had sex with doesn't mean you can't love the child, dumb fuck. I'm sure this hypothetical mother in this story genuinely loves the kid.
In the malls with that shit. Like I said, if my dad never married my motherfucking mom, I could give two flying. I have no animosity now, but I would give him a pass. Honestly, you would get a cold pass for me. If he never married my mom, you get a pass for fucking, and I'm just here. Because clearly that was the situation, but he married my mom. So clearly the nigga wasn't ready for a kid when he had me. But he fucked up when he married her. You know what I mean? Maybe people should stop fucking recreationally. That's one thing too. That's another thing, guys. Don't just smash anything. Why does marrying and ruin it? He didn't plan either way. Cause I mean, you already locked ties. You was in a locked relationship contract, so that's different. But any guy in here that's mad at your dad and he didn't marry your mom, technically you ain't got a reason to be mad at him because clearly the nigga wasn't trying to have you in the first place. So it's just sex. Your mom got pregnant. You're here. Why you got animosity for?
What?
Did I ever get a girl pregnant? There was one ex-girlfriend I got pregnant like hella years ago. It was,
damn, how old are you?
I dodged a bullet with this ball rod yet. I was in a relationship with this chick.
We are going to hear this story again later. The short version is he got a girl pregnant. She had a miscarriage, and he says that he dodged the bullet. But he says some more interesting things, too. Okay? All right?
Bro, this chick was so fucking violent. She was like 6'1", 6'2". Bro, when I tell you, like, everything about that relationship, I felt obligated. And I didn't even have shit at that time. I was like 20.
I was like 23 minutes later.
Nah, bro, this was so long ago, man. This was like hella Christmases ago and shit.
Damn.
This might have been like Christmas 2018 type shit.
Oh, really? So if he was 20 in 2018, then he's 26 now? There he go lying about his age again. He can't keep the story straight. Connie thinks he's 33, just saying he's 26. Of course, his birth certificate and credit report both says he's 39.
Drag him, slay him, sipping on that true tea hunty. Gag.
That's almost like, what? Like, I know that nigga close to 40. That's what it is. I was told, and that, you know what I mean? That, like, there's no way. 26? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. You're way older than that. You're a 1980s baby, bro. You're not a 90s baby whatsoever. Stop. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it the fuck out. Anyways, here's how he concludes the story.
But yeah, I dodged a bullet. So that's why I'm real sensitive on these type of topics where chicks try to keep kids that niggas don't want.
Nigga was a crack.
Because I almost had a kid I didn't want with a ball raw get.
That's your fucking fault. Whose fault is that? You talking about some, oh yeah, she was violent. So you just like violent bitches, huh? You just like them violent. That's how it is that you like them? Fuck. Now I see why he be talking about Rogettes. Because he likes them. That's what he like. That's what he into.
Bro, child support ain't nothing for these niggas. The only thing that would suck if I was a rich man and a bitch was getting child support off me, I would just be pissed the fact that this bitch is just eating off a life that I worked for. Or it doesn't even matter if I was rich. I'd be mad that any bitch that could get child support off of a nigga that just from having a kid, you're just eating off a life I worked for. You don't deserve that shit. Go get a fucking career, bitch. Nah, not 21, 18. You say
Go get a career. Why didn't you have sex with a girl that already had a career? Sounds like you chose poorly. Taught that tea. Catch it.
you think what went up? What you talking about? Oh, it went up to 21? Ain't no way. Why the fuck would you need to pay for a kid for 21 years? Fuck you. You was a product of sex anyway, 9 times out of 10.
So parenting just stops when it is a person turns 18? Or are we being for real here? He was a product of sex anyways. Is that just me, or does that sound like he's referring to someone specific?
That's crazy how like society really got kids as a transaction. Like, it's supposed to be a joyful thing. You telling me I gotta pay for something that was a product of casual sex? Why is a child a transaction? Especially, like I said, if a nigga doesn't agree to have a kid, you shouldn't be obligated to pay child support. The fucking goddamn the government should pay for that shit. That shit is 21 now?
The government normally does. That's what it is of like welfare, Section 8, being on food stamps, WIC. That stuff it is that like, it was already in place because it was trying to destroy the black family. This is like the late 1960s, maybe even going into the 70s is when it is. They really started perpetuating that. They did not want black men in the home, a black man in the home. So the government was out here saying it is, hey, listen, if you get rid of this black man, we'll go ahead, we'll get you into a nice little house, you know, in urban areas, and we'll make sure that you got food for you and the kids and you know, some milk and everything like that. That's what that is. There's literal programs for women and infants. Exactly. That like this common sense is just not the common thing, huh?
That's crazy, bro. You gotta pay for a kid for an extra 4 years over something 9 times out of 10 you didn't agree to have. That's crazy. You gotta pay out an obligation for a bastard child. Crazy. Yeah, there's no way I could fuck with a kid I didn't agree to have. There's no way I could fuck with it. If I gotta pay for something that was had against my will, I ain't fucking with you. I'll just pay for it and fuck you. But as far as like a relationship or any of that type of shit, don't ever try to visit me. Oh, you know that you were my dad. Like, why weren't you there? I'd be like, what the fuck you talking about? I paid for you for all these years. So why the hell would I fuck with a kid I gotta pay for?
Oh,
Get the fuck out of my face. Are you serious, Dad? Or Dad, are you serious?
Again, he thinks it's cool to act cold-hearted like this because real men can't have emotions. Another juvenile insecure Dal take.
Serious? What the fuck you talking about? I didn't agree to have your motherfucking ass. Nigga, your mom got a bag off you for fucking 18 years. Did you think the shit was gonna be kumbaya? Like, nigga, get the fuck off my doorstep.
Wow.
I did not agree that you were a product of casual sex, my nigga. And I would have had the tool tucked just in case. Is there an issue? Wait, hold on, you're pulling a gun on me? Absolutely.
To your own child. Make it make sense.
Absolutely, bruh. Get the fuck off my doorstep. I did not agree to have you.
Bra IT takes 2 to tango. What are we talking about?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that he would pull a gun on his own kid like that. He loves imagining these stupid wannabe macho fantasies. Grow the fuck up.
It's a girl. I'm like, did I stutter? Get off the doorstep. You are not one of my authentic children. Get out of here.
Authentic
Your dad,
children,
my dad has been paid. Locked. The fuck out of here, bro. That obligation
children,
shit is lame. Like, if I paid already, why?
Oh yeah, you can.
I don't want to fuck with you. That's just my thing. If I paid, bro, if a chick randomly had a kid by me, and I paid for all these years, there's no way we can have a relationship. Not a 1% chance. Because I didn't agree to have you. So why in the fuck would I need to fuck with you? I paid. My debt is paid. My society to debt has been paid.
Man, you still laid with her and now you trying to buck up with a child. If that child resents you for the rest of your life, blame yourself, bullet frag.
I'll have authentic
Bullet
kids with a
frag.
bitch I actually gave a fuck about and focus on those. But with a random ass child that I didn't agree to have and I paid for, that's been paid. Holler That's what I'm saying. If she wanted you to be an active father, she wouldn't have filed for child support in the first place. Because let's be real here. Most of these chicks that file on these niggas that I feel sorry for, most of these chicks that file, the nigga actually will probably be like, yo, if you just don't file the paperwork, I'll actually work with you. I'll help you out.
That's not always the case. And that's not always the case. Some people have baby mothers that is just like, all right, I ain't about to take you to the court. This and this, blah, blah, blah. We can work this out. Cool. Or some fathers it is that just don't put in no money whatsoever. And the mother's just like, all right, fuck you. I'm gonna deal with this as a support of, like, you know, my family, you know, me, X, Y, and Z, boom. But the people it is that normally will be, oh, you have different reasonings so why it is somebody will put you on child support. And some of it can be for petty reasons, but the other one is literally the fact that it's like, yo, the nigga just don't do shit. The man just does not do a single freaking thing, and you out here like putting your money into all this other stuff, but it's like you have a responsibility. It is that is like right here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it depends. That's not always the case.
Some of these chicks be so devious from the stories that I've heard from niggas. Some of these chicks be so devious, they file anyway and want you to be a father at the same time. Like, what you mean? I gave you a bag. That's my, like, how, so hold on. So you want me to pick the nigga up or pick the chick up from basketball practice and pay you? Nope. You should have thought about that. You chose option B. I told you option A. Your mom did that shit to your pops? That's what I'm talking about, bruh. Yo, you're Jacob. Shut up for the 6 months.
Dance cloak time.
Nigga, if I'm paying, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'll pay my debt, but I ain't fucking with you at all. That's not a rogue mentality. So you're telling me that you would pay for a kid out of obligation and with it against your will? Tell me in what realm does that sound ethical? Splurge 909, shut up for the 12 months. What realm does that sound logical and fair to you as a man? It's not about it being the kid's fault. So you're telling me if a chick had a kid against your will when you weren't ready and slid you on child support, you're gonna pay out of obligation and rock with the kid out of obligation when you never even liked the bitch for real? That's crazy. I wouldn't do that. I'm straight, bro. I'll pay, but I ain't fucking with you. If I didn't agree to have the kid, there's no love connection, there's no bond, so I can't fuck with you. Bro, put on a condom? It's not even about that. What if the shit busted and you accidentally popped the condom and the nut slid in? Let's not act like accidents don't happen before. Some chicks probably don't even want to pop a plan B. I just think that it's foul, like, there's some dudes out there just really will smash chicks for fun and just be locked in. Like, you knew good and well I wasn't trying to procreate with your fucking ass. It was only a back shot session. Matter of fact, you hit me up for cock. We were stroking. The Magnum XL or the Magnum busted or the Durex or whatever you motherfuckers rock. You got pregnant. You told me that you were pregnant. You found out. I said, well, let's go ahead and, you know, we're clearly not in love. We're not in a relationship. Let's do the ethical thing. You said no. I said, all right, cool, whatever. This is your body. You know what? And I'm putting you on child support. Wait, what do you mean? Like, well, there's ways we could work this out. Nope. Child support and you're going to have to visit. Yeah, you got me fucked up. Nah. I don't think that's fair to the man. What part of that sounds fair to a man?
Too.
I have one pregnancy scare story. And oh man, that shit would have ruined my fucking life. Oh man, I was with this Balrog bitch. Oh my God. It was like it was the last relationship I was in with a black chick.
Here's that pregnancy story again from earlier. Oh boy.
Man, my life would have been, I would have been screwed. I would not have been Lowtiergod. Everything happens for a reason.
You're devious too, and gladly abused a minor and dated her and now trying to act all innocent. What kind of deadbeat backwards dumb logic is this? You wouldn't know how to be a man if someone swung on you. You're literally pushing 40 and think like a 11-year-old. This is literally
Oh, that shadow in the back. I'm just
I would have been some depressed father with a chick that I hated. I would have hated life. Just thinking about it disgusts me. It just sucks that as a man in society,
you should be disgusted with your own actions if that's the case. If you was going through all of that stuff with this Rogettes, then isn't that poor choice thinking on your part? Like, what are we talking
You
about?
don't have a say so when you're literally just fucking somebody for casual sex. That's the only thing that sucks. Like, we don't really have a say so for shit. There should be a rule that says if two people cannot agree of, let's just say this, let's just say you fuck a chick, right? She finds out she's pregnant. She wants to keep it. You guys can't come up with an agreement on what should happen. You should be able to sign a piece of paper. She signs a piece of paper where her and the government is responsible for the kid. And then you're free to go. It's really already like that? Hell no, you're always obligated. Because you should not be, as a man, you should not be obligated to pay a chick for 18 to 21 years for a casual sex session. That shit is a fucked up ass logic. It's a fucked up scenario. It's horrible.
Dang,
that's what I'm saying. If they could do it without your say.
He's speaking from experience.
Yeah, you should be able to leave without the say. Because it's a one-sided decision. It's a one-sided decision.
This man is so damn passionate about this. It's like, gang, you talking as if like you are going through something very similar at this moment.
Tell me, some of my juice is slipping when you on accident. You gonna tell me you're gonna have it and I'm gonna pay? Okay, well, what about me? What about my free will? What type of free will do men have? Like, it's unethical.
Experience with a minor
a lot of chicks be using
Kendrick.
kids as weapons. Yeah. I've had plenty of homies with kids and their lives are miserable because chicks use kids as weapons. How much nut does it take? Probably a microscopic amount.
So as you have seen,
it literally just takes one sperm to fertilize an egg.
Heinous. His train of thought in relation to having a child. At this point, you really have to be more introspective about this. These aren't speculative rants. If you are a fan of Dale and you watch him go on these rants on stream, these racist rants, homophobic, transphobic, these hateful rants over and over and over again, and you think to yourself, it's all a character. He's doing this for a laugh. He doesn't mean any of this. You have to think, because everything he said about not wanting a child, and more specifically a daughter, is all part of the life that he has been living. Dale wears his heart on his sleeve. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anytime he is upset about something, he will speak about it at length. If he doesn't get invited to an FGC event, he speaks about it because it bothers him. If he isn't nominated for an award he feels like he should be, he speaks about it because it bothers him. If a troll made a video about a topic that specifically drew more ire, he speaks about it because it bothers him. There is no nuance with Dale. When he is speaking about something, it is bothering him.
Damn.
And typically, it is because there is a validity to whatever he is speaking about. If trolls discovered some new information about him, or found some flaws in his logic, or are just having a laugh, he's going to speak about it because it bothers him. Remember when
There's a lot of things that bothers this nigga.
Troll videos calling Dale a simp?
We're going pretty good.
On an hour-long rant about it. A person who is truly unbothered does not do that. They simply ignore it. Isn't lying. Dale isn't playing a character. He's honest about his hatred, not for a hypothetical daughter, a real life child. And we all might have thought that this could have been a recent event. No, this child is 10 years of age. This child has the cognitive intelligence to be able to understand the nature of her father's rants about her existence. You saw him say, if this child reached out to him in the future, he would potentially harm them for seeking a relationship with him. He would bring a weapon to to the door to talk to this child. He is not a man, he is an insect, an insignificant peon who is repeating the
Dude, peon is
sins
such a funny
of his
word.
father. Of course, now he wants to justify the fact that his father, James,
Yeah, apparently a
abandoned
10-year-old
him
daughter.
and his sister and his brother and his mother when they were small because he went ahead and did the exact same thing. In the past, he would rant and say that his father did not take advantage of the opportunity that he was born with all of these superior genetics and could have been something more than he is now. But he turns around and does the same thing. He's no better than the man he hates. He understands the struggle that his mother went through raising 3 children as a single mother in the 80s and 90s, and even with that knowledge, he doesn't care. He chose to abandon his child and let this little girl and her mother go through the exact same turmoil that he did. Just to look at a few of the statistics surrounding single mother households and how much they can negatively impact a child. 60% of children below the poverty line live in homes with a single mother. If you have a single mother, you are far more likely to get addicted to drugs. If you were raised by a single mother, you are far more likely to get incarcerated at some point during your lifetime, which
It's not necessarily true.
is very familiar with. The
Not
entire
necessarily true.
story is incredibly sad. This child is 10 years old now. Shortly after this child's birth, in 2014, Dale began grooming his 17-year-old girlfriend, Alana, when he was 29 years old, and also started a feud with Viscant, which led to a money match. While most people
That child is going to have a hard time sleeping at night. He is the sidewalk that I step on. And you're projecting this on your child and expect everyone go well. That child is going to have a hard time trying to be in a relationship with someone when they know they can't meet her or his father.
concerned with how they're going to alter their life to provide for
What's
the
up, GZ?
new life that they brought into this world. Dale was more concerned with how he was going to groom a minor and start random Street Fighter beefs. All in all, Dale is submitting himself to the Streisand effect now in an attempt to obscure this information by locking the replies to his Twitter and putting certain words on his block list so that people cannot comment them in his Twitch chat. He is inadvertently confirming that all of this information that leaked is accurate. An innocent person would not do this. They would laugh it off and ignore it. But he is scared. He is nervous, is terrified, because this has been his best kept secret. Of all the things that we know for a fact about Dale, this was the most unexpected.
I'm not surprised though.
You guys know what I think about chicks that like to trap
listen,
niggas and
hey,
use
I
niggas
appreciate
for
you.
a bag.
Not the
I think
Jedi.
that it's a very one-sided situation. And I think that it's very unethical that if a woman gets pregnant, you're obligated out of casual sex to provide for something you clearly will have no emotional connection with. When a kid is born out of sex, out of recreational sex, it will never be a fully loving relationship. Sex and you weren't ready to be a father, you didn't want to be a father, I can give you a pass. I honestly think that if a man and a woman do not conceive a child out of love, the kid will always suffer.
However, this is another reason why protected sex is always the best. Sigh.
That's just what I think. I feel like forcing fatherhood on a man, all right, bet. You need some science project to me. But science projects, I still got to do science, right? I still got to go in there and with things and make sure that my science project is good. But will there be love involved? Nah. But we could play science though. Since you're a science project, you're a product of casual sex. All right, bet. You need something? Cool. Excellent. What you need? Practice? All right, boom. Cool.
So viewing your child, or viewing your kid like this is just fucking disgusting. Honestly, he always said that this shit in the past, but now it feels frightening, real.
How hard is that to understand when they literally
No, the woman isn't doing it to spite you. Since you're an immature man child, that's how you perceive it. The irony is you're acting cold and aloof to spite her. So you're just projecting.
did not fucking agree to have it? How hard is that to understand? If I didn't agree to have that child and I don't love you, I don't like you like that, it was casual sex.
He's really
What
projecting.
would make you think that I could love something that comes out of you when I didn't love you to begin with?
If that's how you feel, then you just shouldn't be in their life at all. This is weird withholding love revenge fantasy that you have only going to hurt an innocent child. I'm good. I'm drunk as fuck. How's it? Nah, I'm sick. You get drunk? Hey, listen, go ahead and take a shot for me, bro. It may be harder for a child than if the parent were in an agreement, but if you choose to not be in their life, then you are choosing to make it even harder. That is your decision as the father.
The kid will know that they were a misclick eventually. Condoms are one thing, but you gotta know she's on BC and trust her.
Exactly, but you can't really trust when you're rich and famous, right? When you're rich or popularly known, bro, a chick's ultimately going to be looking like, let's be real here. Most women in life are looking for the easy way out. They're like, a lot of women only got a few options in life when it comes to professions. Fuck a rich nigga, get pregnant, get child support, or do the medical field. Because let's be real, most chicks don't want to get a law degree and all that type of shit.
I actually wanted to go to law school. That was the main reason why it is I was going to college, was for a law degree. The fuck? Like, what are we talking about?
Let's be real. That's why you see a bunch of chicks wearing scrubs all the time. Because they're like, damn, like, I don't really know what else I could do besides, like, be a nurse or work.
You sleeping on nurses heavily, bro. May I add, it is that these are people who have to deal with all different types of walks of life when things happen. When it is, let's say it is you break a fucking ankle or you get sick. Who do you get seen by? A doctor and a bunch of nurses that went to school for this shit. What are we talking about? What? What are we talking about? There's nothing wrong with people being the nurses, bro. Like, what?
In the medical field, or I could just fuck a rich nigga and like, bro, I've met more nurses than anything. I only met like 2 chicks that had law degrees and they were both Indian chicks. Bro, nobody, and the key words, they were Indian. We talk about.
I know a bunch of black lawyers. I don't know what you're talking about. I know a bunch of black lawyers. I know lawyers that is of different walks of life, ethnicities, all that. So like, what, like, what? Skip.
The kids look like some hybrid shit that come off from a different dimension. My
It's
homie
worse
was.
He full unclaimed her. They were together and she met his parents.
Oh, she met his parents. Well, he probably moved in capital Essie. But I had a homie that was crispity crunchity blue black. This nigga had kids with a Becky. Bro, them kids look like straight up hybrids. They have fucking like sandy, like dark, dirty blonde hair, but nigga hair at the same time. They had light brown eyes. They had like golden caramel skin. I'm like, damn, these kids aliens. If we could come out with a
Pay attention
verbal
here. If we could come up with a verbal, okay,
contractual way to deal with things where we don't involve the law, cool. But if you literally involve the courts at all with the kid, I don't give 2 fucks about that child. It is nothing but a bill and an expense to me. That's it. You keep the thing. Because if I'm paying for something, why the fuck do I need to be around in the first place? If you put shit in document courts, oh, I'll pay, but I don't want shit to do with the fucking seed. Because you chose option B instead of option.
wait. I didn't know this, but the same person, but he have beef with RDC because they didn't invite him to the Tekken tournament that RDC was doing at DreamCon, and he was butthurt and said, "Who wants these tickets to DreamCon?" And then back down to say, "Oh, I was hacked." Didn't he? He went to some convention. I think he went to like TwitchCon or something like that. I don't know if he went to DreamCon. I don't know if it is that he went to DreamCon, but that is something it is that I can't believe. I can believe that, Dr. Jedi.
Option A. Option A, we could have done a little co-parenting shit. You could have still got a bag off me. Shit could have been
believe
cool.
it was
I was like,
evil.
I gotta pay for this thing, but all right, at least we ain't out in the courts with this shit. Soon as you involve the courts, that shit ain't nothing but an extra. That kid turns into a car note. That kid is a BMW, bro. As soon as you involve the courts, I'm paying that nigga. That's a whip. That's not even a child to me anymore, nigga. That's a fucking car that I drive, nigga. That's what that shit morphs into. Let's check out some of these text messages. Would I punish the kid for what my baby mama does? If I had a baby's mother to put me in the courts, the kid's no longer mine. It belongs to the state because the state's involved. So now that just becomes a bill towards me. I want no quarrels with that child. When you become grown, don't come speak to me, because if you become grown and speak to me, I will literally say you were nothing but a product of sex. I tried to talk to your mom about the court shit. She put me into the courts. When the courts were involved, when the government was involved, I'd said, you know what? But a backshot queen. She robbed you of learning good shit and said, I'm gonna get the courts involved. So why don't you go talk to the government about how you learn values and talk to your fucking dumbass mom that was a backshot queen. I wanted no parts of her.
Jackass.
She chose option B. I said, let's get option A. She chose option B.
He's snitching
You were nothing but a
heavy.
bill. Boom. Cars paid. Have a good life. What do you mean cars paid? You were nothing but a vehicle. Kid could take a lesson, get it from the mom. Once you get the courts involved, learn all that shit from your fucking mom. That's my take on it. If you want to get the court, my thing is this, guys. So let's just say you're fucking a bitch for fun. You don't really like her. You're just having casual sex, right? She gets pregnant, has the kid. You wasn't ready for it, but a woman's gonna do what she wants to do. It's a woman's body. She's gonna do what she does. She has the kid, says, I'm gonna put you on child support and I want you to take care of it. How is that ethical? You wanna get the courts involved, rob me of my bag, and you want me to visit the kid to take care of it? Nah. What fair is that to the man? How fair is that? So you
Skip.
Homies. Sure, Dale. You're homies. I've chosen to conclude on this clip not just because it really hammers the point home that this isn't some story he's made up, but because of a more important reason. One that speaks to the true character of Dale Wilson. In this last clip you just saw, he's making it clear that he didn't have any issue with her having the kid against his wishes. In fact, he literally says, it's her body, and she can do whatever she wants to. In addition to that, he states multiple times that she could have still made a bag off me, meaning he wasn't against helping support the child financially. He says he was willing to both pay for it and help raise it, so long as they have a verbal agreement that doesn't involve the court system. His only issue with this situation is that she involved the courts. This is so critically important because once I posted the preview for this video, Dale's cuck defenders and wannabe red pill followers were quick to defend him on the basis of men's rights, saying it's not fair that a woman can just decide to have the kid and then force you to pay child support. Whether you agree that's unfair or not is irrelevant, because that's not actually what he's complaining about. I know it may be confusing because at times he resorts to just complaining about the money, and this may just be a case of him lying and saying it's about something else because it looks better than saying it's just about money. But let's take him at his word, because he has said multiple times he didn't have any issue with supporting the child financially. Not only that, but you just heard him say she wanted his help raising the child. So all you MRAs thinking she was trying to keep the child away from him, you can just toss that out the window right now. According to him, the reason why he didn't want anything to do with the kid is because she took him to court. At this point, you may be wondering, why would she need to do that if he was willing to pay? Well, like I said, this could all just be a lie, but the answer may lie in the information contained in the credit report, in addition to what we know about the child. The child in question is 10 years old, so they weren't just born recently. But the child support collection on his credit report and the inquiry from the law firm that specializes in judgment enforcement are more recent, from August 2023. So maybe they did have a verbal agreement like the one he keeps referring to, and he had been paying her directly. So what happened? Obviously, we can't know exactly what took place, but come on. Let's not just feign ignorance like some people. Let's use our brains and call a fucking spade a spade.
Damn, Shang Tsung, you really don't like Connie. Damn.
If he was really willing to support the child like he says, why would she need to take him to court in 2023, 9 years after the kid was born? The thing is, though...
And he said about black YouTubers, etc., how they're evil and not talking bad towards RDC, but he pulled their ads on stream and been butthurt of why they didn't invite him, but he said that he has no problems in talking mess about black YouTubers, etc. I saw a video that I don't know if it's true, but he has a problem with Corey Kenshin, and I don't know why. What the fuck? Corey don't do nothing but mind his business and, you know what I'm saying, and just live life, bro. Damn. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could get a woman pregnant. If I didn't want to take care of the baby, I could go to Africa because have dual citizenships. Fortunately, niggas ain't shit niggas. Damn.
His story doesn't make sense. He says that it was her involving the court that made him not want to have anything to do with the child, even though the court just mandates he do the thing he said he was willing to do in the first place.
That's really
so
it.
I don't get all his resentment if he was really willing to do it. It's
angry.
not like the end result is any different. The net effect is the same.
Ow.
But I digress. Remember, the child is 10 years old now, and according to all the leaked paperwork, she didn't get the courts involved until 2023. So if the issue was really her taking him to court, where was his involvement with the child from 2014 to 2023?
Yeah.
That's 9 years where there was no court order, but there's no indication that he was involved in her life at all during that period. It is possible he was, and we just don't know it. But it doesn't seem like that's the case from the leaked documents, which literally itemize how much time each parent spends with the child. I also find it pretty hard to believe that if he had been helping raise them over all those years, spending time and building a relationship with them for almost a decade, that he would just cease all contact
Low-tier
solely
deadbeat.
because she got a court order that ensures he pays child
I
support.
might put that in the title on this video.
I may be harping on this, but he says he was willing to pay, right? So why does it matter so much that she took him to court? All that does is allow her to seize his money if he doesn't pay. So if he was paying willingly, it makes no difference. Like I said, I suspect he's either lying or he's leaving out the part of the story where he stopped paying, which was the catalyst for her to take him to court in the first place.
Yeah.
These law firms that deal in judgment enforcements can't do anything without a judgment to enforce.
Correct.
They can't just walk into a bank and garnish someone's income because they're lawyers. You have to go to court first.
Yeah, you gotta go ahead and get a whole court summons. You gotta fucking get the person served. That's different in each state. Some people it is that you don't have to be at their house to serve them. It's wherever it is that they are on the street. I mean, there's that, and then you get seen by a judge after getting, served by a judge, and the judge goes ahead and just say, all right, boom. Yeah, judgment is placed for this, and this. And then you got to do extra steps in order to collect the payment, which is usually like, garnish wages or send people to collections or levies, properties, stuff like that. So yeah, that's usually it.
This means it's very likely she never wanted to go to court. It was just a necessary step she had to take to make him pay, which
Damn.
is supported by the fact that she didn't do it in 2014 when the child was born. It didn't happen until 2023. So that's the story. I can't imagine that anyone would still believe this guy in the face of mountains of evidence. It honestly sickens me that he can't ever just face the truth. Dale is truly one of the most deceptive, dishonest humans I've ever seen. No hyperbole. And it's not like that's his only personality flaw. This man has said thousands of things that show what a sick, demented, twisted mind he has. But I don't think anything demonstrates that more than these cruel, heartless comments about an illegitimate child that we now know weren't hypothetical. Even prior to the credit report leak, I would hear these comments and think, what kind of sick fuck would ever think such a thing? Let alone say it out loud in public, and it gets even worse because wasn't just saying it, he's actually bragging.
Yeah.
Like you can tell if you watch these clips, he thinks he looks so cool and so aloof that he could treat his own offspring like that. The man is literally getting high off his own farts when he...
You know, like his offsprings, how he talks about women, how he talks to people within the chat, how he sits there and be butthurt when it is that he's in somebody's comments and he gets quote tweeted. That's something it is that me and Babs did. We quote tweeted like the nigga, and he went ahead and blocked every single person. It was like 80 something people it is that did a quote tweet. When I tell you this nigga took the time out to go ahead and ban each and every one of those people it is that he quote tweeted is crazy to me. And he's racist to his own people. Oh yeah, you can see how badly it is that he talks about black women. You know what I mean? And like the fact that he talks so crazy about black women is crazy. You'd be like, oh, weave wearing ass bitch. This and this. Hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? I would love a motherfucker to sit there and say it is like, oh yeah, like you out here wearing this blue hair. That's not even your weird hair, bitch. This and this. Don't get it fucked up. I could take this motherfucker off and we you know what I'm saying? The hair is to the lap. What we talking about? You know what I'm saying? What we talking about? I just choose to do this because it is the brand. The brand is the you know me from the blue hair. But I mean, it's such like a lot of stuff it is that I see that he says are really just misconceptions of things it is that he probably has gone through, and that's all it is that he's doing, projecting it. It's not. I've always said this of like people who do these streams of red pill streams or to talk nasty about another person or people of your own kind, women or children or whatever the case may have. You talk illy about this. You make up these fantasies of things it is like, oh, if I was in that situation, this is this. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up, please. Please. Would say something about black women in front of me, how quick I would check a nigga. Hey, that's what it is. Like some people just need checking at the end of the day. So in 2024 is a year of checking niggas.
He acts out that stupid fantasy of his child showing up at his door and him responding with a gun, even though we all know he's a coward that would never do such a thing. If this ever happened, he would probably do what he always does and deny he is Dale Wilson, like he did when the process server showed up to serve him the papers. Absolute coward shit. Now it's one thing to actually think these deplorable things. It's another thing to actually say them out loud. But when you actually know there's a living, breathing child out there, and that the child is old enough to go online and hear these things for themselves, I have to wonder what kind of person would do such a thing. But I honestly think he is so cruel and insensitive, so spiteful and immature, and he holds so much resentment for the child's mother, that he's actually hoping they hear it as a way to enact some sick revenge on her for committing the sin of taking him to court. As we have seen over the past few days, when Dale is complaining about something or criticizing someone, he's usually projecting his own insecurities outward.
Of course.
And you may remember how many times he mentioned weaponizing the child. Well, dare I say that is exactly what he is trying to do here. The things we criticize others for are usually the things we hate about ourselves, and I think this is very much the case with LTG.
I think so too.
There is a brilliant quote often attributed to Maya Angelou, and I'm going to play that quote for you here.
The other most important lesson, well, it's hard for me to number them, but let's say one of the most important lessons I ever learned from you, and I still am, you know, I think I know the lesson, and then I'll walk into a situation and think that's that same lesson, and that is when people show you who they are, believe them. Yes.
Ooh, that is a bar. That is a bar. That is a bar. That is a damn bar. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. That is a bar. That is a damn bar. My mom tells me this all the time. My mom and my dad be telling me this. If people show you who it is that they are, believe it 1010%. The way it is that people will sit there and show their ass out is when their backs is at that wall. Absolutely. W quote.
Absolutely. A person says to you, I'm selfish, or I'm mean, or I am unkind.
Or I'm crazy.
Or believe them. They know themselves much better than you do.
When people show you who they are, believe them. Dale oftentimes engages in doublespeak. He will try to mitigate his culpability in relation to a lot of things by saying half-truths. He will lie by omission. So what did he say after all this information leaked? What was his response to all of this? This was his response.
I'm gonna say this shit one time and one time only. I am nobody's father. Best believe that shit. I got 2 cats, if you want to count that. That's cool. I am nobody's father. I promise you that.
He specifically used the word father. And why is that relevant? That's relevant because of this clip from earlier in the video.
She chose option B, said, I'm gonna get the courts involved, so I said, fuck you. That's why you never seen me. So don't come over here crying, talking about, I never knew my pop. Like, Dad, first off, let me get something straight. Biologically, I'm your dad. Outside of that, I am not your father. See, a father is present through love based off of a love kid, a love child. I am not your fucking father. Biologically, I did help create you. But outside of that, I want no parts. I paid for you, though. You were a bill for 18 years, so I had to pay a car note for 18 years. Outside of that, have a good motherfucking life.
Dale sees himself as a biological dad because he can't ignore the science, but because he is such a steaming, insect-filled, pock-ridden piece of shit. He doesn't see himself as a father because he doesn't love, care for, or want anything to do with the child he had a role in bringing into this world. And I agree with him. He isn't a father. The child has a loving mother that thankfully takes great care of her. And it almost feels like the child is even more blessed for having not known Dale and not knowing anything about the other half that brought her into this world.
Damn. Well, golly, bro. Damn. Still out here getting exposed again. But hey, listen, Shang Tsung, thank you so much for the video and also with all this evidence. Like, some of the stuff, it is like, I can only handle so much of this of like him yapping and ranting about the same things over and over and over again. That's, my gosh. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. Damn, low life ass. Damn. Shout outs to you at home. I'll catch y'all in the next video.